Hari Om. Once again, the Atma Sanyaman or Dhyana Yoga, after the Dhyana has reached the stage where it is expected to reach. After this, there is no effort. There is nobody who is present to do the efforts. The last boundary of effort is over after transcending the final limits of spiritual sadhana. What happens is what is being described now. This is called Paramarthik Satta according to Acharya, Shankaracharya. In a Vyavaharika Satta, we have everything that we experience. We are in the Loka, maybe Prithvi Loka, Swarga Loka, Sapta Loka, whatever it is. Loka means experience. Lokyate bhunjate iti lokaha. As long as we are in the experiential world, as long as we have not transcended the experience, these two shlokas will not be of any significance. What it means is, when one is in experiential world or the loka, which is referred to as a Vyavaharika Satta by Shankaracharya, and the Pratibhasika Satta also comes under the same, because both are experience oriented. So when a yogi, by sheer dint of his spiritual sadhana, transcends the Pratibhasika Satta and Vyavaharika Satta and enters into Paramarthik Satta, then what is his status? We can't call that as a mental status, because mental is gone. What is his sthiti? Sthiti also is not a proper word, because sthiti presupposes laya. So what is it that he is in? How is he? Because he's still alive and in this experiential world, but experiencing something which is beyond experience. See, we need to try and understand the difficulty. The difficulty is he is out of the water and he's in the water. Now, anybody would say it's a stupid statement. How can you be inside the water and outside the water? Being out of the experiential world and yet being in experiential world is a very unique phenomena that happens to the one who has realized the soul, who has a Brahma Jnana, or the one who has transcended the experiential state. We all play with the small children in our house, our own children. While playing with the children, we have already transcended the childhood. We are adults, we are no more children. So we cannot perceive same intensity of emotion what a child perceives or we perceived as a child. But now that you are playing with your own child, you get into the child's game, yet you are not into the child's game because you are not a child. How this happens? An adult behaving like a child, enjoying the children's game, yet he is not a child, so he's out of the game. Being in the game and out of the game simultaneously, something analogous happens to the person who has transcended the experiential world. In that world, what happens? Bhagavan says, Yaha. Who is Yaha? Yaha, that. Yaha means who? Who? The one who transcended the experiential world, not ordinary person. Even if I intend, wish, I have a very longing for this kind of realization, I cannot have that experience because I am not that who. That who is the one who has transcended. So Yaha, who? Mam Pashyati. First of all, only he can see me. He who has transcended the experiential world through the intense spiritual exercise of the karma, followed by upasana, followed by dhyana, reaching in dhyana through different stages of sampradnyat and asampradnyat samadhi, has gone into the samadhi avastha of nirbija type, nirvikalpa nirbija, dharma megha samadhi. He who is that he who pashyati mam, only he can see me. So first thing is he will see me there. Then after seeing him, when he sees everything that he has left behind, while going to the Mount Everest, he reaches Mount Everest and sees Mount Everest and then looks down to what all is seen from there, the creation. The beauty is not in realizing the self or the Brahman, but as Yogi Arabinda says, the beauty further lies in the descent. The ascent is beautiful. Descent is exhilarating. Why? Because the vision had changed. Now, what is seen is what I saw there at the top is same as what is I am seeing down. Now, not only that I have experienced, not in the terms of our type of experience, but intuitive experience, direct realization, pratyaksham. After that, everywhere he is seen. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. This is understood that everywhere he is residing. That means me, I am the self. And the same self is residing everywhere. That means I am residing everywhere. Logical corollary. That is understood. Now, sarvam cha mai pashyati. Now, this is further difficult. All the drops of the ocean are in the sea. Very easy to understand. All the drops of the ocean are in the ocean. Very easy to understand. But all the ocean is there in the drop is very difficult to understand. बूंद समाई सागर में जाने हर कोई, सागर समाया बूंद में जाने बिरला कोई. This is one is the stage that we need to see. I am he is one state, and he is everywhere is another state. And everything is in him is the third stage. It is not the categorization, but it is the feeble attempt of describing the state of the one who has transcended the experience. I am Atma Brahman, Mahavakya. I am the Brahman. That is the first realization. Brahman is everywhere. Second realization. All that is realized is Brahma. Third realization. Is this a gradation? No. Is this a categorization? No. Then what is it? It is a simultaneous intuitive knowledge of Brahma. That is why after knowing Brahma, that is after understanding I am the Brahman, the remaining two things happen. That is why Brahmavid, the one who knows Brahman, Brahmeva bhavati. Everything appears like a Brahman. So, yo mam pashyati sarvatram sarvam cha mai pashyati. Mai is saptami. That means in me everything is there. I am in everything, and yet I am not at all related to anything. It's a very confusing statement for a normal person. I am in everything. Everything is in me. I am not into anything. Why? I don't do anything. To understand this, Kabir Maharaj says, Hum sab sabhima, sab hamima, hum hai bahuri akela. Arjuna, I am into everybody. Everybody abides in me. I am not into anybody. To understand this, the meaning of this is Madhusudan Saraswati Maharaj has explained it in a different way. Mam pashyati sarvatra means what? Mam, my nature, Arjuna, you can see me in two different forms if you are lucky enough. The first stage is if you develop the vision out of your spiritual exercise and you reach higher and higher level of consciousness, then you will see me as Ishvara. So your first vision will be an intermediate step called Ishvara Darshanam. But don't consider that as the last step. It is intermediary step. Because you will see me in the Maya illusion. In the Maya, you will see me as a Mayopadhita Brahma, which is called Ishvara. So your first acquaintance, first encounter after your Upasana and Dhanam will be to see me as Ishvara. You will have my Darshanam. So you will see me first with Maya as Upadhi. After the Maya Upadhi is dropped off, after the avaran of Maya is dropped off on the Ishvara, then the Ishvara will vanish, Maya will vanish. That is the time Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra will happen, according to Madhusudan Saraswati Maharaj. The whole commentary of this Adhyaya by Madhusudan Saraswati Maharaj is focused on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Pages after pages he has written for each shloka, focusing on Patanjali Yoga Sutra, because that comes very close to the interpretation that is expected here on Atma Sanyamana Yoga. So Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra will happen only when Mayopadhita Ishvara Sankalpana will also get over. Then it is like the cloud is taken away and you see the sun. So sun is Ishvara, cloud is Maya, Mayopadhita. So cloud is gone, sun is gone. Now that cloud, the sun was existing as rays because it was seeping through the cloud. Moment cloud is gone, you see something beyond the sun. The enlighter of the sun. So when the Mayopadhita Ishvara is gone, there is a direct intuitive experience of the Brahman. So that is first thing that happened. That is called unity with Brahman, becoming one with Brahman, which is coming in the next shloka. After that, after the Brahma Jnanam, it is a Jnatrutva, not an experience. It is a Jnatrutva. It is an intuitive, direct knowledge of Brahman. Then the Brahman is seen down below as the substratum of everything. Sarvatram cha mahi pashyeti. Now the question is, tasyaham na pranashyami. What is this pranashyami business coming here? Pranashya means to destroy, destruct, to make it zero, etc. After speaking such a high philosophy, suddenly Bhagavad Gita is using the word like pranashyami. What is pranashyami? Pranashya means to get lost or vanish. What gets lost? Till the time the Maya is ruling as avidya for oneself, that is for the Vyashti, or as a Maya for the Samashti. As long as Ajnanam is ruling as avidya for the Vyashti, individual, or Maya for Samashti, everybody, till that point you are pranashyami. You have vanished. You are lost. Lost of what? Lost of that vision which is obscured by the Ajnanam in the form of avidya or Maya. But now that you have reached me, tasya aham na pranashyami. Now I am not a subject of vanishment. Why? Avarana is over. Na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. Neither I am able to keep you under the garb of Maya, nor you are enticed by the Maya. That means we both are beyond the Maya. We both are the adhishthan of Maya. So from the adhyastha Maya, you have come to the adhisthana Brahman. So one who came to the Brahman is nothing else but Brahman, because one who is beyond Maya is Brahman. That is why the word pranashyami. So now what happened? Somebody went up beyond the cloud, saw first the sun. Then he realized that he has also gone beyond the cloud. So there are only one thing beyond the cloud, that is sun. So if I have gone beyond the cloud, I have become the sun. Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. This is the first stage. Now he turns back and sees, where are the rays of the sun going? Oh, they penetrate first through the cloud and then go down to everything that is under this cloud. The cloud is Maya. Everything under this creation is completely infused with the rays of the same sun. Similarly, the Brahman acts as a substratum to everything that is there. Everything that is there. That means I am there also in the form of always everlasting, Sanatan, scintillating, brilliant, luminous sun. So I am there always as a Brahma Tattva, Nishkriya, Shuddham, Shukram, Asnavaram, everything, Buddham, Nityam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, all that I am there. Also, if you see me with Upadhi, which is Maya, then I am there in the creation also. So I am there, I am here, at both the places. A Sufi rightly says, वही रास्ते वही मरहले, कभी इस घर में आ बैठे, कभी उस घर में आ बैठे. Sometimes in the loka, sometimes in the paraloka, and simultaneously into aloka. Laukik, paralaukik, alaukik. At all the three places, I am there. And this vision of mine is not lost for that one who is the one who has reached me or a realized person. Regarding Tasyaham na pranashyami, Gurudeva has given the reference of 6th shloka of Ishavasya Upanishad. Here, Vijigupsute word has come. Now, Vijigupsate, Visheshan, Jigupsate, Jigupsa. Jigupsa is aversion, to hate, to be averse with, but sounds very wrong in the mind. It doesn't sound very good. You're talking of yastu sarvani bhutani atmaneva abudvijanata. Yasmin sarvani bhutani ekatvam anupashyata. Sarveshu bhuteshu cha atmana. Such a high lofty ideal, and it is ending with tatona vijigupsate. There is no hatred. Sir, the basic fundamental thing is, a person who has reached to that level is already beyond vijigupsate. A person who has a vikara like hating somebody, how can he become atmaneva anupashyata? Then how Ishavasya Upanishad has used such a lowly word, a common vyavaharika shabda for such a lofty thing? The one who has realized Atman is not hating anybody. It doesn't sound well into the ear. Also, the first shloka of Ishavasya Upanishad, Ishavasya midam sarvam, everything, and ma grudakasya svidhanam. Don't covet anybody's wealth. Everything is covered by the Lord, and don't covet anybody's wealth. Doesn't sound nice. There has to be something more to it. When Kalidas is writing Meghadutam, you expect the Meghadutam quality of words also to come. It's not a normal novel somebody is writing. Kalidas is writing. Similarly, God's utterances, Upanishada is being spoken. How Upanishada can then use the word like Vijigupsate, Ma Grudakasya Svidhanam? A little probe is required in this. Vijigupsate is aversion. Aversion of what? Yogi, what aversion a yogi can have? At the time of samadhi, he is still having an aversion of something which is very, very surprising. When the yogi starts doing sadhana, initially, in the initial part of sadhana, you start feeling averse to the world because you are developing vairagya. Ye tanmasa vasadi vikaram. Shankaracharya says the lady's body is full of filthy flesh or something. Now it's a kind of an aversion, but aversion to sensuous pleasure. All right, this is an initial stage of sadhana, very difficult for us, but for a yogi, this is initial stage. He has passed that. During the progress of yogi upwards into the higher levels of consciousness, he first starts hating his body. Why? Because he gets a thought that just because I am embodied soul, I am upadhi kruta chaitanya, all this struggle is happening, spiritual exercise. How nice it would have been to not have this body. This body has created a problem for me. His aversion is coming now towards the body. Then in the higher level of consciousness, he forgets the body. But still the mind is still on. Antakarana vritti, although ekagra is still on. And he's constantly struggling to destroy the antakarana, forget the mind, commit the suicide of the mind. But the mind is always coming through Vyuthana Sanskar, again coming as an obstacle. At that last stage, he develops an aversion to the mind itself. Read carefully Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we will realize there are 2 sutras dedicated to that. He considered that as a part of shauch, like the cleanliness around, the cleanliness of bad thought, the cleanliness of mind itself. But the one who has reached the ultimate stage, where he sees everything everywhere as one, tatona vijigupsate. Now that is the stage when he stops that aversion, because there is nothing to be averred at all. Nothing to be jealous of anything at all. That is why tatona vijigupsate. Gurudeva is again and again hinting towards the other schools of Vedanta. Such a mena pranashyati, I do not become separate from him, is a direct answer towards the dualist, according to Gurudeva. The reason is, whether Brahma and me, we are one, we are two, or we are in between. This is the basis of sub-schools of Vedanta. On one side stands tall Shankaracharya, in whose parampara our Gurudev is also there. And so are we. On one side stands tall Shankaracharya saying that Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. There is nothing that is in between. You become Brahma. On the other spectrum of Vedanta schools is the Dvaitavada of Madhvacharya. Come what may, you will never become Brahma. Last evolution, spiritual evolution of yours can reach up to the level where you can become Saloka, Sarupa, Sayuj, but not him. You will go close to Krishna, but you cannot become Krishna. There is only one Krishna. So, Brahma eva bhavati Shankaracharya. Brahma karatva Madhvacharya. So, Advaita, Dvaita, 2 extremes. And in between these are interspersed Vishishtadvaita, Shuddhadvaita, then Dvaitadvaita, and Bheda Bhedavad. There are a few more, but we are taking only the major ones. Ramanujacharya of Sri Sampradaya, he believes that yes, you cannot become Brahma the way Shankaracharya is saying, but you will have a special relation to him as a Visheshana Vishesha. For example, my finger is part of my body. So this finger cannot become body, but it is part of my body. Is finger separate from me? No. So there is no Dvaita. Is finger the body? No. So this is not Kevala Advaita. Finger is part of my body. There is Anga Angi Sambandha. This is called Vishishtadvaita, qualified monism. Then, of course, other schools of thoughts are there who says that no, here you are two, there you are one. Here means Vyavarik Satta, there means Paramarthik Satta. All this has been completely given an answer according to Gurudeva by the Such a me na pranashyati tasyaham na pranashyami. He is not separate from me. I am not separate. That means we are one. Here stands the triumph of Kevaladvaita over the others. After describing this, then the Lord says, Sarva Bhuta Sthitam Yah Mam Bhajati. But when the one who worships me, who is indwelling in everything, but when can he do this? When will he be able to worship me as the substratum in everything? Sutre Maniganaiva. When? Before that, Ekatvam Asthitaha. Before that, he should be united with me. So, Yaha Ekatvam Asthitaha Sarva Bhuta Sthitam Mam Bhajati. Precondition for Sarva Bhuta Sthitam Mam Bhajati is Yaha Ekatvam Asthitaha. Then comes the question, Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, Ke Sarva Bhuta Sthitam? Who? Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, who? The becoming which is pervaded by the being. Understanding that Sarva Bhuta, Bhuta means becoming, Sarva means all, that means entire creation, is constantly forming and transforming. Prakriti transformation is a continuous process happening every kala kshana. And the one who understands this as the changing kaleidoscope of Prakriti operating through three gunas, guna, gunishu vartante, iti matva, na sajjate, that one, when he becomes one with me, ekatvam asthitaha, then he sees me as he himself, and then he sees himself also as he pervading everywhere. And then he bhajati. Now the question is, after becoming one with him, after achieving the ultimate unity, where is the question of bhaja? Bhajati is when you are in the sadhana. When you are vibhakta, then you are doing the bhakti. Now that you have already reached the goal, why bhajati? The meaning of bhajati here is a continuous, constant, direct, intuitive experience of the ultimate Brahman is called bhajati. This is the same concept which the dualist or the Dvaiti people, whether it is Shuddha Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, Dvaita Dvaita, or Abheda Bhed, or Achintya Bheda Bhed, whatever. In other words, all these five would mean Vaishnava or Narayana Sampradaya, Krishna Sampradaya, Vallabhacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya, Madhvacharya, all these are also doing the same thing. Bhajati means direct experience of the Lord. The only difference is they keep the experiencer still away from the Lord, while Shankaracharya mentions that after becoming one, also you can have this experience. How? Ekoham bahusyam prajaye. A mirage can be created, although it has no truth in it, and can be enjoyed. Gandharva Nagari can be created, although it has no substantive existence itself. So such a unique thing which is created as creation, which exists when somebody is existing in it, but which does not exist when somebody is not existing in it. Such anirvichaniya, sat, asat simultaneously, asat when seen from vyavaharik satta, sat when seen from vyavaharik satta, asat when seen from paramarthik satta, existing yet not existing. Since it is existing and not existing, it is not describable, so anirvachaniya. Such a thing can be intuitively and directly experienced by that one who understand me as Sarva Bhuta Sthitam and mind well. This experience of that one who was so far embodied, because a yogi is born with a body means he is still having his prarabdha. In that prarabdha, he tried and then reached higher and level consciousness and realized the Brahman. But what about the prarabdha that is still continuing? Sarvatha Vartaman is considered as prarabdha by Madhusudan Saraswati Maharaj. So Sarvatha Vartaman, whichever type of prarabdha he may have, it could be a Chandala, it could be a Brahmana, it could be a butcher. He will continue to slaughter if he is a butcher. Why? Prarabdha Vashat. So that being his last birth, yet he has realized the Brahman, and yet he is continuing with the prarabdha. So sarvatha vartamano api, sa yogi, that yogi, mai vartate, he acts, abides in me only. Whatever he does, Arjuna, is my doing. Now we understand who took Jnana Yajna. We say Gurudev took Jnana Yajna. Wrong. Gurudeva was in a state where Mai Vartate, he was abiding in Krishna. So who took the Jnana Yajna? Krishna took the Jnana Yajna through the mouth and the body of Gurudeva. What is the proof? This is the proof. In fact, a very bold statement can be made that Gurudeva did nothing. Swami Vivekananda did nothing. Meaning, whatever they did, the divine spoke through them. A clean and absolute flawless tunnel is the only one, as Gurudeva himself has mentioned in Hong Kong in one of his speech, that absolute pristine, clean, glass-like tunnel is used by Lord to flow his water. That is why Santa Vakya is shreshta than even the Vedas, although they don't speak anything other than Veda. But if there is a controversy between the scripture and the saint prevails. Why? Vedanza to artha amma si chatawa anikani bhava baramata. Tukaram Maharaj says, what do you ask me about Ved? Others are just carrying it as a burden on the head. We know what is the meaning of Veda because they are the realized soul. So sarvatha vartmano api sa yogi mai vartate. Whatever he does. Why? Because he has come through the stages. What are the stages? Who I am not is the first stage. Right now I'm considering myself to be somebody. I am not that. This is the first stage of sadhana. Who I am not. Then you reach a stage, who I am. You realize who you are. Then you realize I am all. These three different stages. And if one reads Aurobindo in depth, one of the most prolific modern thinker, even he's equated with Darshanaka. If we read his scriptures, we realize that he is focusing more on descending down from the top after reaching the top. He says that is a beautiful descent. Once one goes through these stages, then Arjuna, the one who is at that highest pinnacle, I am describing his vision to you. Understand if you can. Arjuna being the sadhana chatushta sampanna, He was able to understand what the Lord was saying, because Lord was describing the ultimate stage, not even penultimate, ultimate stage, where the sadhak, where sadhana ends. That is why sixth adhyaya is not an easy task. Atma Sanyamana is dedicated to those stages or the planes of existence which are very difficult to fathom by a common mind. The mind has to be extremely sharp, penetrating intellect, which is only obtained by cultivation of sattva guna. And if sattva guna is not there, there can neither be sadhana nor can be progress. The very reason why we are not able to take away our thoughts from an object, it presupposes a thing that currently the mind is in a state where he is hovering or flitting from one object to another object. When the mind is in a situation of flitting from one object to another object, which is nothing else but the kshipta or the mudhavastha, akshipta or the vikshipta avastha, that means the rajoguna prabalyam is there. So first thing is to verify which guna is predominant in me. And for that, you don't require too many symptoms to verify. They are very easy to identify. I don't feel like getting up from my bed in the morning. You are into tamoguna. While reading Bhagavad Gita scripture or Guruji's commentary, Gurudeva's commentary, I make 10 mistakes, even though the words are right in front of my eyes. Tamoguna. I want to do Bhagavad Gita also, I want to do Brahma Sutra also, I want to do this also, I want to work also, I want to excel money also, I want to Rajoguna. Too many friends, too many WhatsApp, too many social media, too many commitments, too many meetings, haven't time. There is absolutely no time to breathe. Social timing, going to the social club, Rajoguna. Having least mundane contacts with the world, spending more time in contemplation and readings, doing everything with a precision. So unless one's mind is predominated by sattva guna, the meditation is next to impossible. A paralytic person cannot hold a glass. Similarly, a paralytic mind, wavering mind, cannot do meditation. So when you feel that the mind is in habit of flitting from object to object, meaning the Rajoguna is dominating, in order to cultivate the Sattva Guna or in order to cultivate the meditation on one object, the best part is to keep the mind in the object for a longer period. Now, for a longer period, the worst is when you sit for meditation with, let us say, a murti in front of you. Within 1 second, the mind goes away, because that is something which you don't like. So first start from the object that you like. For example, you have passion for something. At least be passionate. It develops the practice of doing a thing with intent and content both. If you are eating food, suppose you like a particular food, no harm, that is also an art for concentration. Eat the substance that you like with full relishment. Don't pounce upon it. Give it its own time. Let food or dinner itself be a ritual. Do everything, writing a letter, making notes. We have a habit of writing it fast. Nobody can read that later. And then you try to somehow cover up. You yourself cannot read it afterwards. Again, Rajoguna Prabalyam. Bring in the writing itself Sattva Guna. Each word is correctly written. You're telling indirectly, you're training your mind for discipline. So when you are into day-to-day Vyavharik act, First try to correct your vyavahar, then paramarthika object concentration is a later step. You're driving, sometimes at 120, sometimes at 80, sometimes shouting at somebody, sometimes feeling irritated about something. You're driving and you're thinking of your office. Rajoguna, be in driving, be in sitting. People go for vacation and do so much of running around there. How can vacation can be a peaceful vacation? Doing a Deva Puja, sit in that place. Do it for 5 minutes, but complete involvement for 5 minutes. You are there in front of the God, you are shouting partly to the wife, shouting partly to the children. Rajoguna Prabalyam. So object may fleet. Currently try to keep the mind on the object as long as you can. And this need not be a theistic object like a murti or a shaligramam. Your own work, wearing a shirt, check yourself. You're so much in the hurry to go office that the buttons go up and down. You just rush towards the car because you're going to the office. You rush out of the office because you are going to the home. Even the work in the office you're doing, whether it is a balance sheet or a financial instrument or whatever, think you always take a shortcut. And samajh mein aa gaya, I've understood it. No, give sufficient time because the mind is making you run away from that place. Hold the mind, hold the reins. This is the beginning of taking small baby steps towards the concentration. Then in the period of time, as we go ahead, automatically the other doors open. The ability to concentrate goes up and up. And that is how a fleeting object can be terminated by keeping an object of our interest in the beginning. Then after the development, one can go for other objects on their own. This is a slow unwinding process because the mind is accustomed to the samskar and vasanas of many births. Nevertheless, it should not discourage us. With God's grace and Gurudeva's grace, we should be able to do it. Hari Om.